Heading, welcome back. In this video, we are going to see how do we do basic configuration on Windows Core operating system. So as you see, this machine is at the login prompt. So it is asking me to enter the credentials of local administrator. So I'm going to go and enter the password. And I got into a command prompt mode. So from here, you need to go ahead and manage this operating system, right? So what Microsoft provides you, it provides you a very good tool called as Sconfig or Servercore.Config, you can call it as. So all you need to do is you need to go ahead and run that particular command here, right at the command prompt. It gives you the console using which you can do basic configurations. Let us see what are those options you have when you get into the sconfig or server configuration. So I'm going to go and run this command sconfig, press enter. Now this is what a PowerShell configuration tool does, right? It is giving you an options here. If you press 1, you will be able to change this machine or add this machine into a domain, computer name changing. You can add some other person as a local administrator and various other options, right? So based on your requirement, you will be using these options, right? For example, you want to go and assign an IP address to this machine, then you will be hitting 8. So then it says the current IP address is 172.31.225.22. Do you want to change it? If so, then it is asking you to select the index, right? If you got multiple network interface cards or network adapters, you need to go and put the adapter index number here. Since you got only one network adapter, you go and put 1 there. So then it gives you various other options that you can configure within that network adapter. Now, if you put 1, then it will give you an option to configure the IP address. If you put 2, you can configure DNS settings, and then 3 to clear the DNS server settings, and 4 to return back to the main menu. Let us say I want to set the IP address to this network adapter, so I'm selecting 1. Then it's asking you, Vijay, whether you want to go with static or dynamic IP address. So I want to go with static IP address, so I'll say yes. It's asking me to enter IP address. So I'll enter the same IP address, 172.31.225.22. Then it asks me the subnet mask, then I'll enter the subnet mask, right, 240.0. Default gateway 172.31.224.1, right? What is that? So the IP address could not be changed. Maybe since we are using the same IP address, I'm not sure that it is giving that error message. Okay, we'll go with, we'll change that to the dynamic itself. Right, it picks the IP. So it basically allows you to change the IP address. For some reason we are getting the error message, that's okay, but you can change the IP address by selecting the adapter, and in that you can select various other options. Right, I'm returning back to the main menu. I'm pressing 4. And if you want to change the computer name, you can also change from here. So if I put 2, then it asks me the new computer name. I will say that Windows 2K19 Core. Press enter. It is asking for a reboot. Go ahead and reboot the server. It reboots the machine. Right, so let us try to connect again. So it's just booting up. You can rename the machine by using those options, right? Now, if you are not interested to use those options, then you can also rely on either PowerShell commands, or you can rely on your Windows, command prompt commands as well. So if you go and look at the host name, then it got changed. You see it? So the same host name can be changed from here, rather going to sfconfig and then sconfig, I'm sorry, and then using the option 2 and then changing it. You can also do it from command prompt, right? I'm exiting this sconfig, so I'm pressing 15 here, right? Enter. So then again you're back to your command prompt. So you can also use this PowerShell command. You see it? You can also use this PowerShell command, right? So you can put this name to maybe, let us say, Windows 2K19 Core New. So this is a PowerShell command. So go ahead and launch this command in the PowerShell mode, right? Since you are in the command prompt mode, so you need to switch to the PowerShell mode, and then there you go, you are into PowerShell, and then just run this command, rename -computer, new name of the computer, you are restarting it and you're force restarting it, right? So go ahead and run this command. So that gets rebooted because it did change, and it will initiate a command to do a force reboot after the change of the computer name. So let us quickly validate. So I'm logging into this machine, and then I'll go and put host name to check the server name if it got changed. Yes, it does. So you can also go with this option. It's up to you. Now the other thing that which I want to quickly explain here is demand, futures on demand, or FOD, we call it as futures on demand, right? So what are these futures on demand? So we are used to, some of the management consoles, right? So which we are used to in our GUI mode. For example, you may want to go ahead and access Explorer or File Explorer. If you go and put this command, explorer.exe, right, it doesn't recognize that command because core operating system by default will not allow you to access these features. Now if you have a requirement and if you want to go and access this explorer.exe or maybe the event viewer, maybe a couple of other consoles, you can go ahead and install these features on demand on core operating system. So to explain this a little bit more, if you look at this documentation, Servercore.Appcompatibility features on demand. Now this basically gives you an ability to go ahead and use some of the tools. That may include your management console, event viewer, performance monitor, device manager, and then Explorer or File Explorer, disk management, and other. Some of the basic management consoles you can access once you have these features installed. So as I said, by default, you will not be able to access them because the features are not installed. Now, in case if you have a requirement, then go ahead and install these FODs or feature on demands by using this command. I'll update this command in our description section. You can pick it from there. So the command goes like this, right? So add Windows compatibility hyphen online hyphen name, what is the compatibility you're adding, and then it picks from your disk, right? So I'm going to go and run this command, right? So this is again a PowerShell command. Let us get into PowerShell. So I'll go ahead and run this command, and it basically goes and installs the FODs. Now, once this installation is done, you will be able to access your explorer.exe, which is nothing but File Explorer, and you can also access few other management consoles. Very handy and useful feature if you are used to GUI and you may want to access few of these features. Then go ahead and install Features on Demand for Windows Core operating system by using this command. I'm just waiting for that to uh, complete that installation of that feature. So once we have that, then we'll quickly check few management consoles. And while that goes on, see you can use these FODs for two aspects. Okay, so one is, as I said, to use some tools or software tools for troubleshooting and debugging. These are the tools that which you can use. And if you have got what do we call it as the compatibility related stuff that needs to be configured, you can also try by installing these FODs, which increases the compatibilities, right? In case if you see any compatibility issues, then this could be another choice to quickly check if that fixes your problem. Right, so it is still going on. Maybe we need to wait. Right, it does take some time for that installation to get completed. You see the installation is successful. This requires a reboot. So we'll do a quick reboot of the machine. So I'm going to go and run a command to just restart it. So PowerShell command, restart -computer, right? So just initiate it. This reboots the machine. So once the machine is rebooted, we'll quickly try those tools that whatever we were seeing, explorer.exe or maybe other tools as well. They all should be working, or we should be able to launch up those tools once we have this machine rebooted, because we installed Features on Demand, right? So I'm just waiting for this machine to boot up. So it's doing some updates. Starting. Let us log into this machine. So if I go and put explorer.exe, so it launches here File Explorer, right? So if you go with Event Viewer, let me copy it from here. Right, it should be launching your Event Viewer, right? So there are some basic tools that which you can use here. Disk management, let us try. Right? So this might be handy in case if you want to go ahead and perform some administrative activity and you are not comfortable with CLI, so this might be handy feature. Hope this video helps, and we'll be meeting with another video next time. Thank you. Bye for now.